Welcome into this segment of Behind the Pen presented by mostvaluablepodcast.com. If you want to listen to the full podcast, go to blogtalkradio.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Also, we're on iTunes, so check us out there as well. Thank you all for listening as always, and enjoy the show. If you're on blogtalkradio.com/Behind the Pen, I got a treat for you. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This Chicago Bears segment is based on a signing. Who did they sign? Eric Kush, a backup offensive lineman, has been signed to a 2-year extension. And well-deserved, by the way. Eric Kush did well when he stepped in. Kyle Long got hurt. Josh Sitton was hurt for a lot of the year. You know, Ted Larson. Eric Kush. All right. We're cooking, ladies and gentlemen. The Chicago Bears are on the brink of being back, and it starts with Eric Kush. But all right, that'll do it for this episode of Behind the Pen. If you guys are on Blog Talk Radio, you got that little tidbit of the Chicago Bears. Other than that, you're on YouTube. Most Valuable Podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below. I'm sorry, I can't talk about the Bears. I can't do it. There's nothing really to talk about. Do I want to go back and do like a throwback thing? Right, where I'm like, oh, let's reminisce around about the 2006-07 season where they went to the Super Bowl and Rex Grossman turned it over. How many times? He fumbled twice, recovered his own fumble, I think, one time, threw 2 picks. One of them was a return for a touchdown, broken coverage. Reggie Wayne beat Tillman, and who was it? Nathan Vasher supposed to be there, or was it Manning? I forget. No, it wasn't Vasher. It was Daniel Manning, the rookie at the time, the safety, playing that position. Mike Brown got hurt early in the season. What else is new? Look at me. I'm talking about the 06 Bears Super Bowl team. If I'm wrong, whatever. They lost that game 29-17. Scored 17 first half points. The hell was that? You come out, Devin Hester returns a touchdown on the opening kickoff. First player to ever do it. By the way, Hester should be a Hall of Famer, and I don't think that should be debated. What he was able to do on the football field is unique, and he was just a straight monster. People game planned around kicking away from Devin Hester. Devin Hester would be on the field, and the Bears' offense at points were so putrid that they would allow the Bears to start at the 40 because they knew that, you know, Devin Hester could beat them straight up. And isn't that the Bears in a nutshell, guys? But man, what a fun team that 06-07 was, right? You guys got me talking about it. I can't help myself sometimes. What was it? They get to the playoffs, right? Playing the Seahawks, Robbie Gould, 50-yarder to win it, right, in overtime. Oh, yeah. Going to the NFC Championship game, taking on Drew Brees and the Saints. And then blowing them out. I remember Bernard Berrien had his catch falling backwards into the end zone, right? Just like on his back straight. Oh, what a catch that was. You know what I'm talking about. Falling on his back directly into the corner of the end zone, rolls in, touchdown Bears, ended up blowing them out. They scored like 40 points. I forget the exact totals, but whatever. Brian Urlacher, I'll never forget it, hoisting up the Hallis Trophy. NFC Championship winners go to the Super Bowl. And it's either Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. Take your pick. And it's Peyton Manning. And I'll give all the credit to Peyton Manning. He's one of the best regular season quarterbacks ever, right? 200 wins. You know, all these passing records. That's great. But that 06-07 season, this Bears team was better than them. That Bears team on any other day would have beaten the Colts. Guarantee it. Now, I'm not playing the weather as an excuse, but it had an effect on the game big time. Big time. Like absurdly did that weather affect the game. Pouring rain. Cedric Benson sucks. He still sucks. I don't care what he did with Cincinnati. He's terrible. Thomas Jones had a great game. Rex Grossman sucked. Still sucks. There's a reason why he didn't freaking get a job anywhere. Well, he was a backup for a long time, but after the Bears, he was pretty much an afterthought because he was just terrible. I don't even want to talk about Rex Grossman because he just makes me angry. Makes me so angry. How many times did he get injured before the season started? He would tear an ACL or whatever out for the year, or he'd come back later in the season while Kyle Orton was doing an okay job. You know, guys, did we have to rely on Brian Greasy, Todd Collins? Was that a year with the Bears had Grossman hurt? Because if that was, man, those were dark times, weren't they? And during those times, you wanted the Bears to be competitive. Like, you felt like they were competitive. Those were mid-Lovie Smith seasons. Some of them were just, brutal. I mean, we're not even getting later on as to when Caleb Haney took over, and that was awful until Josh McCown came in late in that season. I am way off subject. Holy crap, guys. Why you let me do this? The Chicago Bears, by the way, signed Eric Kush. But yeah, back to the 2006 season. Couple wins stood out, obviously. Well, one in particular. The Cardinals come back on Monday night. Are you kidding me? How do they do that? Down 20-3 in the third quarter, and they came back and won? All because of the defense and special teams? That was, Devin Hester returning that punt for a touchdown. Are you serious? Are you serious? That stuff doesn't happen. That team was magic that year. No help at all from Rex Grossman. Absolutely terrible. Can't stand him. I was a big supporter. I was like, oh, Rex, I've never seen a good quarterback on the Bears ever, and you throw the ball well deep. I mean, we got to give him credit. He could launch it, had a great arm, strong arm. Some games he would light it up on the field. Other times he would throw 5 interceptions. I was like, what the hell? Good Rex, bad Rex. And they stuck with him. And it cost him the Super Bowl. It's not all on Grossman, but he had a lot to do with it because he was terrible in that game. Terrible. When I look back at the 06 season, that was better times. Hopefully better times are ahead for this current Bears construct, whatever you want to call them. I don't want to be so pessimistic here. But I'm rooting for the Bears, obviously, to make an impact this offseason, free agency-wise, in the draft. I hope they get Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'll be one happy camper. So, guys, I'm going to end it here because I don't even know what that Bears segment was for you. I give you Bears content. I want to, at least, but in the depths of the offseason, especially now in the middle of February, there's really nothing to talk about. Baseball's starting to take over. The NBA season's progressing. All-Star weekend's coming up. Really, those are taking the headlines. March Madness is coming up soon. The NFL sort of takes a back seat for a while until the camps, or not really camps, the combines start up. And that's not for a while, and the draft is in, May? Long time. So stay right here, Most Valuable Podcast, however, because if you're into football, the Onside Kick will have you covered. Also, if you're into basketball, Primetime Podcast, just kidding. It's the fast break. I say the Primetime Podcast because I always give Sean Anderson grief because I always consider him the host of the Primetime Podcast. But that's Ricky Widmer and Brandon Swanson. Primetime Podcast is for college, so if you're interested in a college game, go right there. I'm telling you guys, Most Valuable Podcast is your one-stop shop for sports entertainment. We also have a new podcast going on. You got to check it out. It's Ricky and Johnny podcast. Really nerdy. I don't mean to call them out, but they're nerds, and they're going to talk about nerdy stuff. And we're all nerds on the inside, so check that out. That's a brand new podcast. Really hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Behind the Pen. It was sort of all over the place. We talked about over-under odds in Vegas in terms of MLB. The Bears segment that just ended right now was just, I don't even know what that was. Talked about the Royals and the Cardinals. Next week, got a lot more in store for you right here on Behind the Pen, Most Valuable Podcast. Thank you guys again for checking in. My name is Mike Rankin. If you could leave a like down below if you're on YouTube and a comment, we really do appreciate you. blogtalkradio.com/Most Valuable Podcast, your full-length podcast, as well as become a Patreon. Patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. Donate whatever you can, become a patron, and we respect you so much. Thank you all for listening, and as always, we will see you all next time. Thank you guys for sticking around for this segment of Behind the Pen. If you want more Most Valuable Podcast content, click on the video up above because I don't know why you wouldn't want to keep listening to our voices every day. But again, guys, thank you all for listening. We really do appreciate you.